The day of my daughter's wedding was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I woke up with a smile, knowing I would walk my little girl down the aisle, give her away to the man she loved, and then watch her begin her new life. For months, my wife and I had planned everything together: the flowers, the menu, the seating, the music. Everything was perfect, or at least it seemed that way. I didn't know that the very moment I had been looking forward to for years would turn into the moment that destroyed my entire life. The church was filled with laughter and music. Guests dressed in elegant clothes chatted as they waited for the ceremony to begin. I stood at the back, holding my daughter's hand. She looked beautiful, radiant in her wedding gown. Her veil shimmered in the soft light that poured through the stained glass windows. "Dad," she whispered, squeezing my hand, "thank you for everything." That alone made every sacrifice I had ever made worth it. The late nights at work, the struggles, the stress, it was all worth it to see her smile like that. I felt proud. I felt like the luckiest father alive. As the doors opened and the music began, we walked slowly down the aisle. Everyone turned to look at her, but I could feel her eyes on me too. I was the proud father, escorting his daughter on the most important day of her life. At the altar, I kissed her cheek, placed her hand in the groom's, and stepped back to stand beside my wife. She smiled at me, but for some reason, it wasn't the warm smile I had expected. It was a tight, uneasy smile, as if she was hiding something. I thought it was just nerves. The ceremony continued, filled with vows, promises, and blessings. My daughter looked so happy, and I felt nothing but pride. Afterward, we all gathered at the reception hall, ready to celebrate. The room was beautifully decorated, golden lights twinkling above, soft music playing, and glasses of champagne clinking as everyone cheered. That was when it happened. My wife stood up. She held her glass high and tapped it with a spoon, signaling she wanted to give a toast. I expected her to say something heartfelt, something about her daughter's happiness, about love, about family. I smiled, waiting for her words, but what came out of her mouth silenced the entire room. "I have something important to say," she began, her voice shaking slightly. "Something that has been kept hidden for too long. And today, on our daughter's wedding day, I can't hold it inside any longer." I felt a strange chill run down my spine. She took a deep breath and said, "He's not her real father." The words hit me like a knife to the chest. For a moment, I thought I had misheard. "Her," the guests gasped. Some whispered, others just stared. My daughter's eyes widened in shock. "What are you talking about?" I asked, my voice trembling. My wife's hands shook as she set down the glass. "She's not yours. I had an affair years ago." I told myself I'd take it to my grave, but I can't lie anymore. She deserves to know the truth. My knees almost gave way beneath me. The room spun. My heart pounded in my chest so loudly I could barely hear anything else. I looked at my daughter. Tears filled her eyes. She shook her head in disbelief. "Mom, what are you saying?" But my wife didn't stop. "Your real father is someone else. He doesn't even know you exist." I thought I was protecting you, protecting this family. But the truth has to come out now. The hall erupted in whispers. Guests turned to look at me, then at my daughter, then back at my wife. The humiliation, the betrayal, it was unbearable. I wanted to scream. I wanted to demand answers. But I was frozen, caught between disbelief and devastation. My daughter ran from the room, sobbing. The groom chased after her, looking both confused and terrified. I finally found my voice. Why would you do this now? Why today, of all days?" My wife's eyes filled with tears, but there was a strange hardness in her expression too. "Because it's the truth. I couldn't keep living this lie. I thought maybe it would free me." "Free you?" I snapped. "You've just destroyed our daughter's wedding. You've destroyed me. The guests avoided looking at me. Some quietly left the hall. Others whispered behind their hands. I had never felt so exposed, so broken. The rest of the night was chaos. My daughter locked herself in a room, refusing to see anyone. The groom's family was furious. The beautiful day we had all planned for months had turned into a nightmare. When we finally got home, the silence was deafening. I couldn't even look at my wife. Every memory, every moment we had shared as a family, it all felt like a lie. Sorry, she whispered, her voice breaking. I never meant for it to come out like this, but you deserve to know. She deserved to know. I stared at her, my hands shaking. You took everything from me. My daughter, my pride, my dignity. You tore it all apart in front of everyone. The next days were even worse. Rumors spread quickly. Friends called me, offering pity. Family members asked questions I didn't want to answer. My daughter refused to speak to either of us, torn between the mother who betrayed her and the father she had always known, the only father she had ever loved. But the doubt began to eat at me. Was she really not mine? I needed to know. I ordered a DNA test. The wait for the results was agonizing. Every moment felt like a lifetime. When the envelope finally arrived, I sat at the kitchen table, my hands trembling. I tore it open and read the words that shattered me completely. I was not her biological father. The confirmation broke me in ways I didn't think possible. Everything I had built my life around, every sacrifice I had made, it all felt worthless. In that moment, but then, as I sat there drowning in grief, I remembered something important. Blood didn't make me a father. Love did. I had been there since the day she was born. I had held her tiny hands, taught her how to ride a bike, stayed up with her when she was sick, cheered her on at school events, and wiped away her tears. Every memory, every laugh, every hug that was real. That was mine. The man who had given her his DNA had given her nothing else. I had given her everything. I stood up, grabbed my keys, and drove to my daughter's house. When she opened the door, her eyes were red from crying. Dad, she whispered. I hugged her tightly. I don't care what anyone says. You're my daughter. Nothing changes that. I may not be your biological father, but I am your father in every way that matters, and I always will be. She broke down in my arms, crying harder than I had ever seen her cry before. That moment, I realized something. My wife's confession had destroyed my trust in her, but it hadn't destroyed my love for my daughter. She was mine. No matter what the papers said to us for my wife, things would never be the same. The betrayal was too deep, the wound too raw. But my daughter, she would always have me, Dot, and that was something no one could take away.